My next guest, over the course of a career spanning more than 30 years, he has solidified his status as one of the world's premier performers. He is an award-winning actor and comedian, writer, producer, director, and philanthropist whose career spans television, live performances, and film. He's currently starred on the hit CBS sitcom The Neighborhood, which is TV's #1 new comedy and airs on Monday nights. Please welcome back to Money Making Conversation, Cedric The Entertainer.
Shout out. Y'all need all the noise, Rashad. We're like we're in the club. I need smoke to come down. Confetti drop. This is like New Year's Eve. Okay, I'm like, what up, dog?
Hey, man, you said New Year's Eve. Them the hardest shows to do, brother, as a comedian. Them New Year's Eve shows. Woo!
I know it, man. We did a few of them. You know, people be drunk already, and they loud, and everybody got on loud outfits, so they loud and their outfits loud.
And so people don't understand is that as a comedian, you know, we operate on response. If you can sing through New Year's Eve. But as a comedian, you need people to laugh back at you. And about 15 minutes before it's midnight, they start looking at their watches. They start planning on you, and you need them to keep listening to you. So your biggest check you will ever get as a performer, right, Cedric, is New Year's Eve. But boy.
Right, and that's the big check of the year. But then, like, you know, then you got 3-4 people in their clock just wrong. So they counting this 10. It's 11:35. Now, y'all, you set your watch first. You doing all this loud counting. It ain't 12:30 yet. 12.
Cedric, I was just listening. I was just looking back, man, and you know, because I had a comedy club in Houston, Texas, in 1992. It was called Hip Hop Comedy Style.
Yeah.
And this young man out of St. Louis, you know, I was going. I didn't know anything, but I just started the comedy club because Def Comedy Jam was hot, and they told me the guy in St. Louis was funny. And and that's when he was the first out of town act that I had booked. And Cedric, you know, you come from the corporate world. A lot of people don't know that. Cedric has a college degree from the corporate world, and he kind of like me. I left IBM. I got a college degree in mathematics, and a lot of people don't know that. They just see the funny side of him, and they don't see a serious side of Cedric. And so, just like how people don't understand the serious side of me, but they bought into it because I managed talent like Steve. So they go, okay, he's smart, you know. And so, and when I look at your brand, and you had to tell people that you were going to leave the corporate space to tell jokes, what was that reaction?
I mean, it was hard. I had worked for a Ricoh Corporation in the early areas of fax machines. So it was a big company. Mm-hmm. Fax was new. It was hot. You can sell fax machines to anybody because it was like selling somebody a magic trick. They was like, "Oh yeah, I want one of them. I can get the letter right now." Like, okay, you can send my invoice right now. Yep. So people like start loving them. So then I started working for State Farm. As a claims adjuster, and you know, and at that time, you know, you could see yourself being trapped. I started to do comedy at the same time I was doing State Farm,
right?
And I saw myself getting moved up in the corporate ladder mainly because of my personality, Rushion. It wasn't really like I was good, but people like working with me, and you realize that's kind of it go like that. It's who you know. Like people go, who you know? Well, people go, well, if I'm gonna be, you know, a supervisor, we take 4 trips a year, I'd rather go with Cedric than with Bob, so I'm going to move Ced up. And I'm like, so you look at you, a young man, you about to start getting trapped, making $60,000, $70,000 a year. You like, if I start making this money, I'll never go for my dreams. So I had to make that decision right around that early in my life, like, yo, I could take this money and kind of, you know, live the safe life and, you know, get the house with the picket fence and the cool little, you know, Chrysler 300, and that's going to be my life, you know what I mean? Or I can go for this dream. So I did. And that ain't hating on Chrysler 300. That just wasn't just
No, but you're telling the truth, because I was the same space. I was like, okay, because, you know, you nobody tells you can be a comedian if you're in the black community. You know, that's not an option. That's not an option, because Richard Pryor's the comedian, Eddie Murphy was the comedian. Who are you?
Exactly.
Who are you?
Exactly.
When people tell you that,
especially when we came up.
Yeah. You know, black people set you straight, Cedric.
Level of star.
Black people will kill your dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
Boy, shut up and go there and do what you're gonna do. You ain't Richard Pryor. You ain't Eddie Murphy. And it's really important that you understand that you can do that. That's why I do the show. Let people, you can understand that you can be there, because sometimes we as a people will slow down our opportunities to be successful in life because they didn't do it. And they see the difficulties of it being accomplished, and then they tell you what you can't do. And that's why I always tell kids, I tell parents, don't tell your kid what they can't do. Try to help them do what they want to do. And we all win. Because that's your philosophy, good. Man. That's what I always loved about you.
That's a good children's book, man. You have it right there.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you something, Cedric. You know, I remember when the riots broke out up there in St. Louis, you know, you set aside the jokes. You set aside the jokes and went on TV.
Yeah, you know, and still really involved in that kind of advocacy right now, because, you know, policing, not to jump the subject, but policing and the way that we live in the world is that power sources can't belong to just somebody with the badge or the power right now, because they still a human being. And so if they feel protected, you know, by status, by, you know, being a part of one organization, then the rest of the world is outside of that, and that's where you got to be careful about allowing, you know, police to, you know, to be able to do their job, but they don't have the freedom to say, I was scared of my life and therefore I had the whole right to take somebody else's.
Right.
That's a big responsibility right there, man.
On the phone is my man Cedric the Entertainer here. Like I said, Cedric, you still on the last OG, right? With Tracy Morgan on.
Yeah, still on the last OG as well. That new season will be coming on starting next month. Second season of the last OG, funny show. Definitely y'all want to tune into that, but no doubt.
But Monday night now on CBS, the #1 show, Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Now, tell you, here's the deal.
Man.
Here's the deal. 2018 was beautiful to you. You know, and you done some stuff, boy. I tell you, you may not ever top that Super Bowl commercial, boy. Because, boy, that Super Bowl commercial, that put you on the spot right there. That elevated you beyond Kings of Comedy right there. But, man, what you doing now?
It really did.
What you say?
It really did. It's interesting because it's still to this year, it was in the top 5. Like they do a evaluation of best Super Bowl commercial, and that commercial still is strong. So that's one of them kind of things that's a blessing, man.
Oh yeah, because I read that article. I went, wow, man, that's powerful. That, you know, because like I said, you the guy, you know, that in life that you know, like I said, you're a State Farm. People say, why are you gonna go? Why you need to stay, man? There's no guarantees. And you go, you know something. I believe in me. I believe I can do this, and that's important to people to hear you say that, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's but I did it, you know, like I said, I also tell people this, I didn't do it like frivolously. Like I created a strategy. I started local. I performed and got my name up locally so that I had like a little bit of a cash flow that I could do around St. Louis. Then I spread it out a little bit. Chicago, you know, Memphis, places I can run down and make a little money, make sure I can always pay my bills. And then I created a national platform. But I didn't leave my job or none of those things, because my job had insurance, man. Come on, I had dental, and I can go to the doctor. I wasn't giving that up, talking about I'm a comedian. Like, nah, I need to get these molars fixed.
Hey, man, then don't forget BET. When you hosted BET Comic View, the black people knew who you were then, baby. They knew who you were then. We're going to come right back, man. We're going to come back right with Cedric The Entertainer. I got to talk about him getting a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Knew nothing about that. Street in St. Louis named after him. Knew nothing about that. Back with more Cedric The Entertainer. He's a busy man. Hi, this is Rushion McDonald. You're listening to Money Making Conversation. In between the little quick break, I had to tell Cedric that he's on fire. He's on fire because when you're in the entertainment business, there are no guarantees. You sometimes you're worried about buying a car. You're worried about buying a house. Because guess what? That TV show that you just got signed up for might not last. That concert tour, people might not come. And like he was joking about, when you have a real job, you got health insurance, you got dental insurance. They even have a little retirement plan for you. That's a nice nest egg. Okay, when you invest in yourself, it's all on you 100%. And when you invest in yourself, guess what? There's a lot of people waiting on other checks from you. And that's a powerful statement that a lot of people don't understand when you get to a point where Cedric is. And then Cedric he's a social media influencer, he's a political influencer, he's a community influencer, and then he's a television star. He going to Walmart, people gonna follow him around. In fact, he can't even go in Walmart.
I still go to Walmart, man.
Yeah,
I like Walmart.
Hey, Cedric, you can go to Walmart, Cedric. You can go in there, man.
I'll be all up in Walmart just shocking people.
Hey, Cedric, did you ever tell people? They say, "Oh, you said you're entertainer." You said, "No."
It's like people go, "Where I know you from?" I said, "I used to work at that Popeyes on that's probably why you know me."
Cedric, I got to talk about a couple of things. Is that the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Wow,
yeah, man.
Wow, man.
That's a big wow. I was telling the story about how when I first came to Hollywood, I lived a block over from the street where right over from where my star is, and I would, of course, go up there. That's where all the food services were and the dry cleaners and all that kind of stuff. And I would walk up there and look at names, and you see all these great stars and be like, yo, you never even imagine. You see it. But those people with that, like almost like Richard Pryor and those kind of stars, they seem so big that you were like, oh man, I'd never be up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here trying to make a living. But to have that day, and and to think about some of the things I've done in my career and have that experience for my family and have people out there was just awesome, man. And I go by there every now and then, make sure ain't nobody peeing on it or nothing, and just
sitting on it, just sitting on it. Just get up. You can't sit on the stuff.
I don't know, little Spider-Man costume dude out there, like just fighting somebody over it. Like, don't you take that down. You take that down the street to, Marilyn Monroe them or somebody. But just
somebody around who can't fight. Because I'll fight you. I'll fight you.
Yeah. I'm still here. For my stuff. Fight on Dean Martin stuff. He ain't around.
Hey, Cedric, so then you get a street named after you. Come on, man. December.
Oh, man. Another beautiful thing. I mean, the idea, I've been doing a lot of philanthropic work in St. Louis. We got a great women's health facility that I got named after my mom at a great hospital where we do a lot of women's health work. We've been doing that the last 5 years, and a lot of scholarships, a lot of kids to college, and then for the city to recognize me for those kind of works and name a street after me was just big, man. I got Cedric The Entertainer Way in my hometown where I came up. That's just a beautiful thing, man.
Wow. But now it's just not on any street. It's in front of the Noop's house. There's some Noop organization.
Yeah. That was dope. That was even dope because the Kappas got a great frat house that they built there. It's right in the district of the St. Louis University. And the theater district where the Fox Theater and the Powell Symphony Hall is, and the Black Repertory Theater. Mm-hmm. So it's just a really great part of the city and very strong. And so I'm actually looking to build a reading center for my mom around on my street, so that I can have something that's actually there. My mother was a reading specialist,
right?
And and I wanted to be able to honor her and do something that's also related to education. And so we're looking to acquire some land there and develop that project soon.
That's why it was always funny, man, when I was around Cedric, because it was always two Cedrics for me. It was Cedric, it was Cedric the Entertainer. And then there was Cedric Kyle.
Yeah.
And Cedric Kyle, but Cedric Kyle is Cedric the Entertainer. And so sometimes you be talking to him and you're laughing, and then all of a sudden he tell you a serious story, you're about to cry. Really, Cedric? Really? Just like he was just talking right there. We were laughing about them Noops. Then he go, I'm gonna start a little reading center for my mama. What you say? What we laughing a minute ago?
Yeah, man, but it all go together, man. Don't it all go together?
It go together.
Thinking about it, you be like, it's all go together, man.
And that's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted to bring up the fact that because a lot of people, they say he has a street. Now his street named after him ain't buried over there. His street is in a very vital, resourceful part of St. Louis, a recognized part of St. Louis. Fox Theater. They don't just put Fox Theater over there. Fox Theater is where people come. That's to rent Fox Theater $75,000. I know. Okay, Fox Theater's not cheap. Now, so you stars who come into St. Louis to Fox Theater, them tickets are very high. And so you're making all these moves, and now the TV show. The TV show is a hit.
Yeah.
Tell me about that whole feeling, because you're on the last OG. You're not the star of that, but it's successful, man. You rolling, and then you get this opportunity. Now you're on TV on another network, CBS. Not that's a crossover network. You know what I'm saying? CBS.
Yeah.
So tell us about that whole process, man, the development of the show.
I mean, well, that's the thing, too. I always try to tell people that longevity, that reminds me of Martin Luther King, where longevity has its place, is the idea of believing in the long run, man. Like, you can't necessarily, even if you get hits now, and, somebody have a big hit young in their career, you go, but what's the best thing about having a long career? So, from the Steve Harvey show that was on the WB to having my show, The Soul Man, that was on TV Land. Mm-hmm. I had never had, I did have Cedric The Entertainer Presents on Fox,
right?
But I never had anything on one of the big networks. I've had deals, but never. And so, to this point in my life, to have a show on the #1 network with a #1 new comedy, and to have that the resources of that network behind you, you see a difference. There is a vitalization that happens that says, I'm validated. One, people understand who I am now. They get my brand. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have to change to do it. I tell a story that's about something that we all live, gentrification, how our neighborhoods are being, moved into, how things that we've grown up with, and now we have to deal with the world moving forward, and now you got to deal with a Whole Foods where your hairdresser used to be. Like, that's not there no more. So these kind of things is and I thought was just a great place for the show, and so did they, and so we just ended up making a great partnership, and I'm glad that people enjoying the show and we having a good time with it, man. Great cast.
It's so true. It's so true.
Having a good time.
It's so true. It was so funny because I'm Houston, Texas. I'm from Fifth Ward. Fifth Ward is a black community. And so my mom still lives there. Went in there and built out a house. She didn't want to move, Cedric. She go, hey, I ain't going.
Right.
So I just built a house around her house. I'm going like, if I just would tear that, you ain't tearing that down. Okay, we're going to build a house around your house. Now I got to put security along because everybody looking at the house. Right. But she refused to move. So they got a big freeway they put into the neighborhood. And my wife said, what's going on? I said, well, my mom's value about to go up because all this going to be gone. Because that's what happened. They'll put a freeway in a black neighborhood because they like black neighborhoods. They know that neighborhood's about to change. Right. And that's why your show is so timely. That's why your show is so timely, man. That's why I love it.
Yeah, no, and it's those kind of things. And in the process of that, we do, like, of course, like guys like us, we've had opportunity to live in a big world and operate with a number of different people. And everything doesn't break down to black and white. Mm-hmm. So you do realize there's groups of people out there that if you get to know them as human beings, you actually enjoy them. And I think the idea that we separate each other along color lines, along sexual preference, and you don't realize that, if I got to know this individual, I would enjoy them as a person. I would be like, I don't have to judge you because you look different than me or you come from somewhere else. And so that's what we try to also really encourage in this show, even though, everybody got to have tribal kind of pride. We definitely have pride solidified and being a black man and you know, loving black women and all these kind of things that that make us feel prideful. But you don't judge the other. You don't judge the other because you don't understand it. Try to understand it and then recognize that you can grow from those things. So that's what, you know, this show is all about. And so my character is pretty hardcore at first. You know, I'm the Archie Bunker. I'm the dude that's stuck in my ways and don't want no change. And then I eventually, you know, come to get to know this family and this guy as an individual.
Right.
And then you see the growth of my character.
Wow. That's The Neighborhood on CBS, starring my good friend Cedric The Entertainer. His character is Calvin Butler, and it currently adds
Calvin Butler.
Currently airs every Monday night at 8 p.m. 7 Central. Hey, Cedric, man, I appreciate you. I love so many years, man, watching each other, and especially watching you, because you're the face of America. We didn't even talk about barbershop. We didn't talk about a lot of things. You are iconic, man, and you absolutely deserve that star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, okay?
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, man.